What's up, guys? I'm here with Louis today. Scully is still out of the country.
What's up, everybody?
We're just going to have some conversation here. We're going to start off with somebody started emailing Amanda yesterday. He ordered, I have his order here. It shows right in the picture. Old school OD Black ordered a tool apron, and we sent that out to him. And then he started emailing Amanda, and I've got this whole chain here. I don't know how this even got here. I ordered. There's a couple different screens here. So he ordered OD green, and then he hit her up and goes, "Hey, problem with my order," and that was at 11:24. And then at 11:27, he said, "I ordered black and green," and then he said, "Please send black camo one. I will return the green one, please." Okay, and then she says, "You ordered OD black. You did not order black camo. You did not order black green. It shows in your order you ordered OD black. If you want to exchange if you want to exchange what you ordered for a black camo one, send the OD black one back with $10. That'll cover our shipping, and we'll get that out to you." And then he just came back. That was at 27, and then at 11:53, he came back with, "Send the right one, please, not green. We sent you," and then she says, "We sent you the exact one I ordered, and I provided you with the exchange instructions. Clearly, we are not communicating effectively. I am moving this over to email with my boss, John Willis." Remind her that whenever she says something, go ask your boss. Make sure you give that to her once a day. Maybe he can see something I am missing. You will receive an email with our conversation there. And then he came back with, okay, this is me. I was included on that. I said, "Hey, send me a picture of what you received, please." And then he goes, "Sorry, but if that's even black, place, I think he meant please replace it with a black one or a black camo one. It would really help putting colors next to the name to help people get the right colors." And I said, "You didn't order camo. You didn't order black. You ordered OD black. That's olive drab green with some black." And then there was a bunch more, and it sounds like I went straight to asshole here. There's not. He has also had his wife email me, and then he has yet a third email chain going on at the same time. Yeah. So he's reading my conversation and replying to this other one. And I said, "Look, man," I said, "you're dead in the water. We're sending you nothing more. You can send that one, which is the one you ordered, back here and include $10 with shipping, and we'll send you the same one." And he goes, "Sorry, but you guys are dead in the water. I work for IBEW Local 3. We have 350,000 men under our contract, and you guys want to screw up an order." And I said, "And all of those men know what a dipshit you are. Be sure to show them the emails. They will be like, 'Yep, I have to deal with Chris's dumbass every day, and this is exactly like him fucking it up.' I said, 'I'll make a video for you, read all the emails back and forth so that you can give him a link to it.'" And then he came back. There's another one here somewhere. I got to find it. I don't understand how guys have multiple fucking email chains going.
Like, man.
Your life must be fucking hard. Anyways, he had his wife email also, and he goes, and then basically he's like, "I'm going to tell everybody at my IB, irritable bowel syndrome." I don't know what the fuck you mean.
Electrical or international.
Because somewhere in here, workers. I now don't see that other thread here. There's a bunch of emails beyond that. But I go, "Dude, 35 years in business. We're going to be okay without you, I think."
What happened, like... This is a big problem in the country, right? Like
everywhere,
personal accountability.
Everywhere, yeah.
Like this guy has clearly not read Jocko's, or I bet you he would say
Extreme Ownership.
He probably has read Jocko's.
He probably doesn't have a fucking clue who Jocko is.
He probably thinks he's the most squared away dude, and you're fucked up. And it's like, hey man, I get it. If every drop down on the website could instantly change the color of the thing and show a different model wherein the okay, this is what OD black is, right? Because he's from New York, right? So OD, in text messages and stuff, overdose. Like,
oh, okay.
OD Black means like he thought he was gonna get murdered out like your Tundra. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe I don't know.
Like
I don't
your
know.
Tundra is OD Black in New York.
Well, we just call that murdered out.
Yeah, but like, where's the? Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't understand your website.
Sorry, what you didn't see in those emails is from the go. I had probably 14 correspondences with him this morning, and he was on it. He was either not at work on the phone, or driving to work on the phone. And I just said, hey man, send a photo. And then when he started on his other shit, and then I have a chain from his girlfriend or wife going, hey, my man, or you guys sent my man the wrong thing. I'm like, we didn't send the wrong thing. It says OD Black. I go, and I've requested a picture 12 different times now, which has not happened. You guys haven't sent any photo. You guys ordered OD Black. We sent OD Black, which is olive drab green with black buckles and webbing on it. And I said, send it back. Mm-hmm. Put it in the mail. Send it back. Send $10 with it, and we'll send you whatever color you want. I go, that's yet to happen. I go, I've gone back and forth with your man 20 times now, and I still, you know what I don't have? I don't have a photo. Mm-hmm. I don't have a picture of, I don't have anything that you guys even received this thing. Mm-hmm. And there's a ton of dudes scamming, especially first time order guys. We see that pretty frequently. Hey man, you sent me this wrong thing. And Louis will be like, I know I didn't send him the wrong thing. I fucking completely know. We even have a conversation about some of these. And the dude's like, hey, I ordered this black holster, but you guys sent me a tan holster. And we look at his order, and yeah, we did send him a tan one 4 weeks ago. So, hey, send me a picture of those two that you now have in hand there. And then we never hear back from those guys ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all how you handle it. It literally is how you handle it. Because typically we're just going to put the thing in the box and send it. Or I'm going to be like, hey, cut that one in half. And we'll just send you. What? I didn't want to cut that one. Yeah. Oh, you want two for free.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing. Nothing in his emails had stated how he was getting that other one back to you.
Correct.
Right? So even if I put myself in his shoes, I think it's totally you and your website's fault that I got the wrong color. Because I selected the wrong color. But I'm going to blame it on you. And I don't think I should be out anything.
Correct.
I would at least say, like, you want me to pay shipping. Like, it's your mess up. You should send me a return label and ship the new one for free. Like, at least have the thought process of how this transaction's going to happen. Like, have your goals out there, even if they're fucking wrong.
And while this is happening last night, she sent a return label to Tyler Mallory. He had asked, I think he ordered some colored pack, and he was like, hey, I'll take the tiger stripe one instead. We sent it. He got it, and he's like, hey, this has orange all over it. I'm like, yeah, we made all of those with orange. He's like, okay, I'll live with it. I'll get used to it. And then the next day, he's like, dude, I hate this. Can I just send it? And she sent him it's just how you handle it.
Yeah.
We did send him a return address label to ship that thing back. But I mean, we spent fucking last I looked, which was probably 6 weeks ago, we were at $960,000 in shipping this year already. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, it's just how you handle shit.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just the complete lack of accountability.
Is it lack of accountability, or is it that he has stomped his feet and been an asshole so many times?
Yeah.
And it's the Pavlov's dog thing. He's getting that fucking heroin drip every time he does it.
Yeah, it's tantrum culture. Like, if he puts up the tantrum, all the things he wants, somehow somebody's going to read his mind enough to get him to stop stomping his feet.
I'd be curious to see how many union workers, once they're on the job, how many of those guys are terminated or fired. I don't have any idea. I've never worked for a union.
Yeah, once they're...
But I'll bet they're pretty fucking protected.
Yeah, once they're in and...
We know union guys that are like legit dudes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably 95% of them. But there's always that guy. Like we don't really spend a lot of time blasting them out on social media anymore. But there's a couple that come to mind. One of them was this dude.
You need it lower. Just grab it and pull it down.
There you go.
Look at that.
One of them was a guy's like, hey, I ordered this thing, and I don't even remember what had set him off, but he's like, I'm going to tell my SWAT team not to buy from you. And I took all his emails and I posted them up on Facebook. And within, man, a couple minutes, dudes were hitting us up and they're like, hey, there is no SWAT team. He's security on campus, and he was deemed he couldn't patrol anymore. He can only do in-office dispatch because he was deemed to be untrustworthy. He was saying like shady stuff to the females on college campus, and he's like, they're like he tried out for the sheriff's department, never made the sheriff's department, ended up at security here on campus, and we don't even let him patrol on campus because he's just a shitty dude. And like it got busted out within minutes. And all those dudes, like we had, it's like, hey, 8 of us just placed orders for combat cocks. We're going to keep putting them on his desk and shit every morning. Like that's how that shit always works.
Yeah. Not especially like you said in the email to him, like all of his coworkers and shit know that.
I'm going to tell all my guys. That's good. They know.
Because every time he's got a problem with the conduit running something, it's the concrete guy's fault.
Yeah.
Every time he's got a problem, right, like hooking up a sensor or something, if it's electrical work that he's doing, like it's somebody else's fucking fault.
We call that guy Bob. You guys, everybody knows one of these dudes. You see him at work, and I always use the water cooler, right? You and the boys on break, you're at the water cooler in the break room, and you're talking about, hey, we're going to go across the street, soccer tonight. That hot waitress is over there. We're going to go shoot some pool, get some chicken wings. And when Bob walks in, everybody gets quiet. You're like, oh, there's Bob. What are you guys doing tonight? Nothing. We're not doing shit. We're all going home. And you guys end up across the street at the bar, and lo and behold, 15 minutes later, Bob walks in. And everybody looks at each other like, who the fuck invited Bob?
Yeah.
And you guys, Bob knows you, and he just fucking magnets onto you guys. And you're fucking trying to throw some game. All 5 of you are trying to get this one girl as your girlfriend. Bob comes over, burps, farts, smacks her on the butt. That's typical Bob, man. And he just fucking does that everywhere. It's the same dude when you go to Ruby Tuesdays or TGIF Fridays or one of them places that you should never fucking be eating poison. But there's always that fucking asshole in there. And you see him because he's making an irate, he's making a show. He has already ate half his fucking steak, and now he's berating and complaining to the waitress that it wasn't cooked right, yet he already fucking ate it. And the whole human resources and the customers always write bullshit. They can't just go, hey, get the fuck out of here, right? They've been told through corporate to quiet him down, appease him, thus rewarding him. Mm-hmm. Hey, sorry you didn't like your meal. It's on the house. We're going to give you a free dessert, and here's a coupon to come back and get 20% off. So please come back and fucking do this to us again. Yeah. And it's, man, when you walk into Best Buy, Walmart, any of the box stores, every one of you, especially if you're a business owner, you have frustration with employees ever, walk over to customer service. Because that little girl over there, there's some fucking asshole in there pissed off that his Chinese shit broke and fucking expecting her to give him some free shit like it's her fault he bought the wrong shit.
Yeah.
It's always like that. And we call that dude Bob.
Okay. Good to know.
I do. Every Bob I know is like, hey, could you stop? could we change that guy's name?
Change him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fucking weird, man. I don't get it.
So what have you been doing? You just came back from Texas?
Yep. Just got back from Texas, then Atlanta. So had 2 weeks of training. Went down to Fort Honey Badger, Sonny's place, down in Jacksonville, Texas. Did 3 days of pistol work with Sonny Pazikis. That was very interesting. If you guys haven't trained with him, like, you should. Like, you need to. You're not ready. Like, 99% of the people, like, they're not open for it, right? None of that Bob shit is gonna fly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll quickly realize, like, oh, like, you have to do this. Like, he's not gonna spoon feed you.
What do you mean by, so you said interesting. Now, you've trained a lot of places. So name some of the places you've trained, some of the big ones.
Oh, man.
TAC Response. You were a fucking head instructor at TAC Response. You've done everything there. Where else?
All that stuff. I've been out to Thunder Ranch, trained with Clint Smith and the boys out there. Most of the Green Line classes I've done. Yep. Trained with John Dufresne of Kinetic Consulting, SlyTac, John Farnham, Steve Fisher. Like, there's Yeah, the list of
So you got a lot of dudes.
yeah, the
You have a
list
lot
who I
of.
haven't trained with is getting to be the easier one.
You've trained pistol under a lot of big names,
Yeah.
and Sonny is completely different from all those.
Yes.
How so?
In the shortest way I can explain it is in every one of those classes, in any class that's a defensive based class, the instructor, like 201, will say it's more important to not be shot than it is to shoot the bad guy. Like 2-1 in all of those classes, including Sonny's. Sonny is the only person I think right now who puts that principle at the forefront of everything he does. So, like the way he was taught how to shoot on the move in the Spetsnaz was they were like, okay, we're going to learn how to shoot on the move now. Hey, I need you to go over
And run really fast.
by that wood pile. And like when he got over there, like, all right, what do you want me to do? Like, okay, move like you want to stay alive. And then they start shooting AK rounds at where
Walking him in.
he currently is. So, like, he needed to displace himself not to catch those fucking 7.62 rounds. And did that for days and days and days to get fluidity of movement and to be able to change directions. All right, now move to the left, move to the right. Then they gave him like a wooden gun, and they're like, okay, keep that pointed at us the entire time while you're moving like that. Okay, so then they're shooting at him, and he's moving around to not be shot and trying to keep the wooden AK pointed that way. Then they give real AK, empty chamber. They train finger in trigger guard, pressing back against the edge of the trigger guard. So wanting to see if he's going to break a shot he's not supposed to and have the hammer drop while moving. And then eventually they get to the point of where you're moving, shooting bullets out of your gun at a target. So the quality of movement, or the thing that becomes priority, being the movement, and then the shooting is a secondary. Just get in where you can fit in, right? Like you get the sight picture you need, you can press the trigger at that point, like acceptable percentage of hit, right? Versus like obviously we don't want to spray rounds all around, but I can walk at a decent pace and with a two-handed grip on the pistol, I can walk in some directions and move at a decent pace and like keep a group like this on a target, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put the camera at the target and watch how fast I'm moving, how hard am I really to hit, right? If I can double my speed of movement, it makes me exponentially harder to hit. So the stress being on that is something that's, I think, unique.
So is that where the whip came in to add stress?
No, that was a bonus thing.
Something else?
Yeah, that was something else. That's Sonny gets into some of the mental aspects of training and being prepared for what real violence looks like, feels like, smells like, tastes like, that kind of stuff. So that was more in line with that. And the whole Russian sistema, fighting system, or whatever you want to call it, the translation of that actually means know thyself, right? So getting in touch with your actual physical capabilities, not your thoughts about your physical capabilities, is something he's pretty good, like, like separating a hide off a rabbit. Like, he can peel away what you think you can physically do and show you what you actually can physically do.
All the classes pretty physical?
Yeah. There's going to be more physical components in his classes than most other people. I haven't trained with Pat Mack yet, so I don't know if he incorporates a lot of that into the actual class. I know he does workouts, like either before or after the class with students.
Yeah, guys
like,
get to show up or stay
Yeah.
after and do that. Yeah,
like-
I don't think there's you're not doing push-ups during Pat's class
Okay.
and shit like that.
Yeah, so there's definitely a bit more physicality in Sonny's stuff. I don't think it's not a limiter, right? So if you, whatever shape you're in, you'll probably be exhausted, but you can get through it. Like, that's the muscle that's going to fail on you first.
So you're probably not taking your sister to one of these as her very first class.
No,
Probably not taking anybody as a very first class.
well, man, it's interesting. So now that I'm starting my own thing and trying to kind of figure out how curriculums are going to fit together and what my school's going to be offering, and start niche or start kind of more mass appeal, I'm trying to figure that out. Like,
Why don't you just put a pistol class out there and fucking go, hey, I'm going to do this and see who enrolls?
well, that's the thing. I need to figure out the answer to your question.
I just say that because there's so many fucking goobers out there right now. Everybody who's been fired from a place or left a place or got fucking their job ended, and now they're like, I'll just be a shooting instructor. And you see these guys I see guys in the, I don't even want to call them in the industry, but you see these motherfuckers doing lives, and there's like 2 people on their lives. Maybe you should stop doing lives. You see people doing classes, and there's pictures, and there's like 2 people in the classes. Maybe you should stop doing fucking classes. Maybe you should go back to working at that factory.
Maybe, but maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe they need 5 years of 2 people on their lives until...
You know that's bullshit.
I mean, what do they say that like 90% of podcasts are stopped after the first like 4 or 5 episodes or something like that? So if you can do 7 episodes of podcasts, you're already in the top 10% of podcasters.
Who's they?
That I want to say that was Chris Williamson.
Who's that?
He's got like 1 point something million.
Yeah, well, I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
So
he's
he should probably come in here.
he had Jordan Peterson on a little while ago.
Whatever.
Yeah, those guys. But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say if
My point to that
you've got
is
2 or 3 people showing up in your class, you should be thinking hard about your curriculum.
Yeah, my point to that is you could go, hey, I'm going to do my first pistol class. Who wants to come? I'll bet you'd fill that motherfucker up.
Yep. I haven't decided what I want to give people.
Well, it seems like it's taking you a very long time to do this.
It is. Yeah.
Like, because I've been hearing about this for a year, maybe. I feel like 6 months.
The real thought behind it has been probably since I started working up here, right? Like
Brandel said something the other day when I met Brandon, the tattoo dude I did an episode with that came out this week, I think. He said, this guy does everything. He doesn't know how to do everything. He just does everything, and he's really fast to do things. And I'm like, shit, I need to be faster to do things. If Brandel's filming for this guy and Brandel gives this guy so many accolades, and that's the one thing that really, he just does things. He's like, I walked in the floor, and he's tiling the floor in his shop, in the new part of the shop, and he's like, do you know how to do tile? He's like, nope. He's like, you look like you're doing pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Just do things. Just get them, just fucking put them in motion.
No, I know that's a weakness of mine, being...
I mean, I don't want you to start it. I want you
overthinker.
to stay here and do what you're doing.
No, I mean, well, and that's the thing. I want to try and be able to do that. And
No, that's bullshit. You should start your thing
Yeah.
and have so much going. You can't fucking afford the time to do this.
well, we'll get there.
Probably not.
No, we will.
Okay.
It's happening. It's one of those things again. 99% of the dudes out there that not the people that I've mentioned that I've trained with, but the gurus out there are like, I got my NRA certification. I'm USCCA certified. Like, I can now sign certificates and like,
James was dead against any of that.
dude, and it's horseshit, and I see more and more why James was so against that shit, and kind of what got James, like, I don't know if he started off nice, but
James got way nicer the last fucking decade.
You know, but I see like certain answers that he used to give people that I was like, oh man, like, he kind of jumped that guy a little bit. Like, now I fucking get it.
Why he took that chrome-plated 1911 and threw it in the woods?
Yeah.
He's like, here's your fucking wooden gun.
Yeah, now I know why he was, like, actually smashing people's shit with hammers in classes, and because he fucking cared. And that's the thing. Someone like Sonny could, and he knows this and he's talked about it, like, he could triple, quadruple the number of students he gets a year by taking one of his 2-day classes and take like what he does before lunch day one and spread that out over 2 days, and he could probably quadruple his enrollments. He wouldn't feel right doing that, and he wouldn't feel like he's giving his best to his students, and being that I'm like, I could do other stuff for money, right? So I'm not in this for that. And as I got kind of roped into, James said he shanghaied me. I was like, no. We got into a whole debate on whether or not Morpheus is a bad guy. Like, but like, here I am. This is what I'm going to be doing. I feel it's on some level a calling, and I'm going to give my students the best possible product that I can, because their life may depend on it.
And until then, you're just going to crack 120 eggs every day. Because I have a freeze dryer and lots of eggs.
Yep. And so that goes back to the, does a beginner jump in on the Sonny stuff? I think if you had no other habits and had never touched a gun before, and were dedicated to getting to a high level of this stuff, I think it would be a great strategy.
Man, I'd love to see that person. I'd love to see 2 or 3 of those guys go take other classes after having done, been schooled up by Sonny.
You know how many people we break at, or have broken at tactical response, come take a class at like fighting pistol was your first class ever, and then they go somewhere and people are yelling at them for like having a loaded gun in their pants.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, you got your gun on already? This is just a classroom portion. Like, I fucking just drove across the country with it.
And James told people forever, always go train other places, take classes, take every class you can take, go to these guys. Even dudes that would talk shit about James, I would hear James tell people, I'm like, why are you sending your fucking students to these motherfuckers whose marketing is James Yeager's an asshole? He's like, because they need to experience that. They're not going to believe or know quite what we gave them, what we do, until they see the other side of that.
Yeah, if you get given a Bentley at 16,
you're not going to give 2 shits about it.
It's the only car you've ever driven. Like, you don't even really realize, but like,
plus we have
now
these...
get a hoopty with no AC for a month.
Yeah.
Good
point.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, when you can't afford a starter, so you fucking push your car and you make sure you park on a hill so that you can bump start that shit. Yeah, and TAC Response has had a huge curriculum, has a huge curriculum. So you could go and do a class every fucking weekend of the year and not even have you could do fighting pistol in the summer and the winter, and it's completely 2 different classes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they would come here. Like dudes would move here and live here for a year, and shit, some of those guys are still here.
Yeah.
Some of those retards are still here.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I took fighting pistols 7 times as a student, firing every round, and every time watched the same lecture video.
Which that's why I tell guys. Guys are like, "How do I get my wife on board?" I'm like, "Dude, if you could get her to just sit in fighting pistol in the video in the lecture on Sunday, even if she's like a pacifist, won't touch any guns, it's going to be life changing."
Yeah,
just that. Have your keys out, park under the light, be aware. We treat our women like they're dumb, yet you trust them to have your 2 kids and put on lipstick and have a conversation with your dumb ass and drinking coffee, but everybody's like, buy a revolver. Like James is fucking thing about that, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of gold in there. I mean, man, I had the same course handout, and every time there's an outline of the lecture, and I would take notes in the margin, and then like I was stapling pages into it because every time I listened to it, I'd get something different.
Plus, it's you have advanced as a student, right?
Yeah.
Guys used to walk in all the time because they'd get in town Friday early, and then class was Saturday, Sunday, always for their first class. You know, fighting pistol, fighting rifle, and they're like, "What should I buy?" I go, "Well, the real truth is you shouldn't buy anything." I know you're here asking me in my company what you should give me money for, but this first class you're about to take, it's going to be totally different. Like when I first got here, you'd see Sherman taking, a class with an AK, which was not really, it was starting to be a thing back then, 20 years ago. But you'd see him out there with a micro rig, and then you'd see him take a class with an AK-M4 chest rig, much bigger rig. But then you'd see him out there with 2 mags in his back pockets and 1 in the gun, and out shooting everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, it's different tools, different jobs. But as you evolve, the more you know, the less you have to have.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like law enforcement people come up before a class like, hey, should I be wearing like my duty belt or my concealed rig?
How are you going to carry it?
It's like, yes is the answer, man. Like for someone who doesn't wear a gun for a living, I'd say, do it concealment. You want to come back and do wear your full battle rattle LARPing.
Man, it's a trip how many cops, I don't know about now, but then cops didn't even wear guns off duty. Yeah. Like you didn't see it.
No, a lot don't. I know a bunch up north that don't. It's like, well, probably a good thing. Because those are the same cops that shoot well enough to barely qualify. And I don't want them taking a shot around my family, like, at all. There's no, like, go ahead. If you're not going to know how to use it, Sonny uses the term babies with chainsaws. You're as dangerous as a baby wielding a chainsaw,
Oh, shit.
And, yeah, but if you're actually like a student of this craft, like
what is this craft?
This craft is, I guess, martial arts. For
James always said martial lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a martial lifestyle. The lifestyle is a big piece, and the art or the craft itself of being able to do violence, being able to, on command, without hesitation, deliver the amount of violence necessary to keep innocent people around you safe.
We could even switch command with necessary.
Yeah,
because when it's not, nothing's going to tell you. It's not a physical command, It's necessary.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the being able to apply. Yeah, it's being so John Dufresne, Kinetic Consulting. He says, like, in his safety brief and before a day of shooting, he talks about being able to be, I think he uses the word dangerous, it might be violent, one of those. He wants to be as I'm going to say violent as possible while being as safe as possible. And I think that gets close. I think it's still...
Give me some examples of safe. We're just talking about not shooting yourself or somebody else that shouldn't be killed.
So, and here's the thing. I don't know if the safety part in there should be. Because if I'm dangerous, there's no direction to it, right? Like a stick of dynamite on this table with the fuse burning down is dangerous, right? It could hurt all of us, any of us. Having my gun pointed at a bad guy over in that direction is in no way dangerous to you right now, right? Like, so I'm not being dangerous. I may need to be violent. I think maybe the better way to put that statement would be to be as violent as possible while not being dangerous.
Okay.
Like that would be my goal as I walk around in life.
Do you think that's probably what Sonny meant?
That's where Sonny goes for sure. John Dufresne was the one.
Got it. Okay.
Said,
Okay.
Violent. And he may have said as dangerous as possible. Right.
I have a day that stands out fucking vividly, right? So like vehicle tactic stuff. We went up for a SWAT TV show with Rob Pincus when he was hosting it.
Okay.
So I think it was in Indiana, and we all drove up there, and James was like, hey, come up to this thing. And I was in the vehicle part of the time, and then I was watching these guys, and Pincus had James put one of the students in the car, and he's like, okay, now draw and shoot. And the guy kept crossing his legs. And Pincus was just on him like, hey, you can't do that. You have to present differently to come across so that you don't muzzle your own self. And that really stuck out because I had been in some classes, been around, done a lot of like military type shit. And there was never an emphasis on any of that stuff. Like I'd never thought, oh shit, that's a fucking laser. You just cut your legs off. So it's safe to yourself, safe to other people. But I remember, and I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck are you going to do that and not flag yourself? Well, it's fucking completely doable.
It is doable, and I like Pincus. Apparently he's like Jaeger. Like a lot of people don't like him. Like I didn't get clued into all the politics there are in this world.
Who doesn't like
bullshit.
James doesn't like him?
No, James and Pincus got along.
Yes,
but like in the industry, there's like Jaeger haters and Pincus haters.
Yes, and a
like,
lot of Jaeger's people don't like Pincus. There was some stuff that maybe Pincus
on the target focus versus
I don't even remember what it was. I speak to Pincus. It's been a while. I should reach out to him. But James put together a whole thing where Pincus came out here. There's an SF dude had a ton of fucking property over there, and they were running some almost like a contractor class that Pincus was part of. So it was cool to be there. I was fresh here, I was here within a couple of years, and Pincus welcomed me into anything. He's like, you're welcome anywhere I am.
Yeah, and I mean, he's good friends with Don, and that's what Don's like, man, I don't know how, but my two best friends are like the two most polarizing people in the industry.
Yeah, and whether you like fucking any of these guys or not, you can't say that, like, Pincus is fucking good for the industry. And anything that it is you're doing, no matter what you disagree with Rob about, he's just fucking well spoken. He's presented well. He's just matured.
The thing with going back to the muzzling the legs, right? Because that's how tactical response would teach draw from a vehicle, that kind of stuff. And I'm trying my hardest not to negatively talk about any other individual instructors.
Okay, I don't have anybody in mind.
Not because of.
I've seen Chris do a lot of vehicle stuff.
No, but I'm about to talk about Travis Haley.
Okay.
And this is not a negative on him, but I watched one of his like Instagram reels, and he's in the driver's seat, draws his gun, comes right across his femoral, right? Out the window, does what he needs to do, comes right across his leg again, throws it in the holster, like bails out of the car or whatever.
Have you trained with Travis at all?
I have not yet. And at the time where I was like, that's a no-no. And why would he be showing this? And why would, then I go up to Pennsylvania, I'm teaching a class, and someone had just gotten back from one of his classes, and he did it. And I'm like, hey, man, like, one of our, like, multi alum dudes, like, he's doing demos to help other people out. And I'm like, at that point, I kind of had realized. And I'm like, I get it, and it's cool, but this is tactical response curriculum, and other people are watching you.
What was his answer?
And he was like, got it. Like,
Roger that.
Yeah. Like, which is awesome, and you should be able to do things in multiple ways, right?
How many times, so Travis, for instance, right, doing military vehicle operations and stuff, having been in the military so long, how many times do you think he presented that way? So finite muscle skill, because in the Marine Corps, they said muscle memory is 3,000, 3,500 times to develop. I said that all the time, or I said that a few times, and Jaeger's like, there's no such thing as muscle memory.
Right.
Yeah. It reverts back to, training or whatever.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk to, there's no muscle memory, but you can...
Okay, but
make memory in your nervous system that'll get those muscles to fire faster.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's just straight semantic argument.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, you're right. My muscles. It's just because everyone likes using the word myelination.
I've never even fucking heard but I've heard muscle memory from being around Scully and being around the CQB dudes and all those guys for so long.
Because we're fucking dudes. Why make things more complicated? If I say muscle memory, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. If I do 10,000 golf swings, tennis racket, fucking smashes, whatever, I'm going to playing the piano. It's muscle memory. Becomes automatic. Okay. The fact that...
What's the difference between gun culture and what's the other one? What is it? It's gun culture and gun...
Gun culture or gun community.
What's the difference?
So...
Is it real? They're all gun.
I mean,
because they're all. That's what I'm saying. They're gun dudes.
It is. There is a real difference, and even the people who think they're on one side of that may not be as open-minded as they think they are.
Can you give me an example of each?
So, like a big one, and I think James put this one in his book. For him, like the gun community says we should be allowed to have suppressors to protect our hearing, right? The gun culture says I want a silencer and you don't have the right to tell me I can't have it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter why the fuck.
Yeah, fuck you.
And I'm calling it a
God-given
silencer.
right.
There's a big difference in that word there because the term suppressor was something that was made up by someone in the gun community.
To kind of make it sound better.
Yeah, we can sell this to the other side better. Because it doesn't actually silence it, right? Like, everybody knew that from the moment they were fucking invented.
We have a buddy that's a pretty famous... Well, that's Jeremy Horton. We had a buddy, Jeremy Horton, famous knife maker. And he wanted a suppressor. And he had to go to the sheriff and ask permission to get a suppressor.
Silencer.
He wanted a...
That's cuck language.
Yeah.
Don't use cuck language.
So he wanted to get this suppressor. He wanted a silencer. And the sheriff at the time said, I'm not signing any paperwork for you to get a silencer for a pistol. He's like, well, this is for a rifle. He's like, okay, I'll sign it for a rifle because there's no reason to put a silencer on a pistol that's only for assassinations.
Like... No.
And now you don't have to ask permission, right? You do it without the sheriff. I'm pretty sure you don't ask permission anymore. They're doing them in like 2 days now.
It's straight through ATF. I don't know, especially in Tennessee, how that would work. I got mine when I was a Connecticut resident.
Got yours in the 4th grade.
But yeah, that was like, so that was a big one for James. Like, call it a fucking silencer. It's like people that will spend time to to argue with people in the MSNBC comments, like AR doesn't stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite. Like,
it's the guys attacking people. It's not a clip.
Yeah, my job is not to educate you on things you're ignorant on. My job is to tell you, no matter what you call this piece of aluminum and steel, you can't fucking have it. Like, it's mine. Like, I'm allowed to have it. Like, all the documentation I fucking need right there. Number 2 on the list. Like, that's all I need. You can call it an assault rifle. You can call it a WMD. You can call it a chemical weapon because there's chemicals in the fucking... I don't give a fuck what you call it. Like, me trying to change your mind, that it's not really an assault rifle. It's the modern sporting rifle.
You're seeing that happen more and more.
That's some cuck shit.
Yeah, like, they're changing...
Please, can we have it?
Changing vocabulary. Like, you can't say rape on YouTube. Like, we just got demonetized.
Great.
You can't say he killed him. You have to say he unalived him. And you're seeing it across the board. Absolutely fucking crazy. And they are changing vocabulary. I've been saying for a long time.
Austin can do that in post, though, right?
What's that?
Austin can do that in post.
No, Brandel does this one.
Oh, yeah?
Can do what?
Just change it from rape to grape.
We don't get anything monetized anyways. Fuck, they're not going to give us 25 cents for this video. Yeah. They'll put some commercials on it though. Yeah, man, I've been saying for a long time, like, they've done a really good job at dividing people further. And the division has gotten, like, it's not even like blacks and whites, it's not gay and straight, it's not white collar, blue collar. It's so close, the division is so much fucking more advanced that, like, the bump stock thing, right? Everybody was worried about the bump stock. Took their bump stocks, hit them, ground them up, whatever they did with them. Who the fuck knew you had a bump stock that was going to tell on you? A dude that you trusted enough that you went shooting with him. You probably showed up with your kids and their kids on the range. You knew each other. He looks just like you. He's got a truck just like you. He's got the same fucking stickers on your truck.
Yeah.
But who's turning you in? That motherfucker.
Or the fact that they're in wide circulation, common use. They were bought on the fucking internet with credit cards and mailed to your house because it's a legal thing.
Correct. But who's
going to say that?
Who are the guys bickering every fucking day on the internet? A dude that looks just like you.
Yeah.
Who shows up on my live feeds talking shit? It's a dude that looks like us.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The
Glock guys talking about how the SIG guys.
Most common question every night is, what gun should I EDC? I'm like, whatever the fuck you want to. Which one should I buy? What? All of them. Mm-hmm. You're a grown fucking man. Buy whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You gainfully earn the money. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, biggest one you can fit in your pants.
Yeah, like, 3 of them.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Yeah, somebody's like, I like a Glock 17. I'm like, 17's great. You can forget it under a tree. 100 years from now, your fucking grandkids will dig that bitch up, and with some cleaning, it'll still work. But there's way better shit than 17s and 19s if you're going to carry it flat against your body nowadays. Mm-hmm. Like, that was the big conversation last night. Several people were like, what should I get my wife? I'm like, you shouldn't get your wife shit. You should take your wife to a shooting range and let her shoot some guns. And I'm like, you can't teach her. You might be the best shooting instructor in the world. You cannot teach that bitch. Some dude will tell the exact same fucking, you got the same script, everything. She'll listen to him. I teach my wife how to shoot. I'm like, no, whatever. Perfect.
The closer we are to people, the less likely we are to tell them either we disagree, don't understand, it's just a totally different mode. I'm interested, and maybe that's a different discussion for different people, when it comes to homeschooling might be the only exception.
That's a good point.
Mind.
That's a good point. Why?
Why is homeschooling an exception?
Yeah, why does homeschooling work, but you can't teach your spouse how to shoot?
Because I think there is that authority role between mother or father and child that can be tapped into.
But there's plenty of
I
pro.
think if to be honest, I think if you probably did, and like if you knew a couple and were like here on shit, and you guys traded kids for homeschooling, I'm guessing there would probably be some benefits to that. Because that close relationship is so hard for the learning process, because you don't want to look stupid in front of the person, or you're bringing the baggage of trying to back the fucking boat down the boat launch ramp and him trying to teach you how to do that. You're bringing that to the fucking standing there at the, this is gonna be like the time when I fucking jackknifed the boat trailer and he
that's
told
another
me
thing.
left, I went left.
Yeah, you should never back up a trailer with your wife.
Yeah.
I've seen all those videos too.
Yeah. So you
we
can't
were backing something up, and we ripped. Who was driving? Amanda was the ground guide. I was driving. Ripped the door off the Suburban. I had dual barn doors. That one back there, bent that door back. I'm like, she's like, I was yelling, stop. I'm like, you should have fucking shot some rounds in the ground or something. Like, clearly I couldn't fucking hear you. I don't remember if I was driving or her, but I do remember kicking that door and getting that bitch to close. We were picking up Oakley glasses case on a fucking way out in the middle of outside of Nashville somewhere in a fucking huge farm out there. But we did bend that fucking door backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But there's plenty of like motocross kids. Are you ever been around any motocross families? Right, that's everything they do is motocross.
Yeah, I know a kid who used to.
And
do
there's
it
plenty
when
of
he was young.
pro motocrossers whose father was their coach. You know, and which is odd because most of those fathers never rode or never were successful at it. Right? They owned construction companies. They had enough money. Then that was important to have that program in the family for them. But they also, I guess, looking at that, they did have like riding coaches and fucking conditioning coaches and PT, physical therapy, and all of that.
So the dad was maybe like a manager.
Probably,
style,
looking at that probably is the case.
From appointment, like he knew the training path.
Yeah,
and,
all those
got the right people.
Multiple tracks on the property and the whole deal.
Yeah, and I mean it is a thing. But back to the getting your woman a gun, like take her to a class first. Like
not a shooting range. Don't take her to a rental. Let her actually shoot some bullets beforehand.
So
I think it's going to be hard pressed to find one that has
the
it.
The best thing you could possibly do is know how to grip a gun before you figure out which one fits in your grip the best.
Okay, good point.
Right?
Good point.
So she can come in because this one felt good in her hand.
How many dudes have ever done that?
And then I go to adjust her hands for the grip, and there's just not enough gun to hold on to, or something like that.
What do you think about stippling?
Man, if you want it, do it. Go ahead. If your gun
Were you in my truck yesterday?
I'm not and here's the thing. As my own guy, right? As Elcar Concepts, I don't have to worry about going against stuff James had said.
What's Elcar Concepts?
That's my.
Well, you haven't done a good fucking job because this is the first time I've heard it.
Yeah, I know. We already talked about how shitty I'm doing.
What is Elcar Concepts?
So Elcar is an acronym. It's 4 letters, man.
What?
Have you ever seen War Dogs? There's a movie where the guy's like, "Hey, what does KYB stand for?" And he's like, "It's 3 letters. What does IBM stand for? It's just fucking letters."
International Business Machine.
Yeah, I know.
But what the fuck is Elcar?
So Elcar stands for Lone Citizen Armed Responder.
In what language?
That's the acronym.
What?
Lone is L.
Okay, so not EL.
Yeah.
El Cadron.
Yeah, no, this is in English.
Cabron, okay.
Yeah. So LCAR.
I'm thinking I'm thinking he's got like a
It's going to be all vehicle
Yeah, I thought we're
tactics.
going back like 4,000 years.
Hey, Holmes, we all getting
Yeah. Jump in, little droopy.
Yep. So, lone citizen, or lone civilian armed responder.
Car loan, civilian, armed response. Okay, got
Right?
it.
So
Got it.
like what I am.
Why don't you be fancy and change the C to a K?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Why don't you just start one of them YouTube channels where you show up with a box of Nikes and then the girl's got a rap for you or something?
Box of what?
Nikes. What's the Nikes everybody likes?
Air Force Ones? I don't know. Jordans?
You could go.
Jordans
You could go.
Nikes?
You could go low cost and just do Vans. All right. What were you saying?
So L-Car, first name Louis, L, last name Caras, Caras.
Okay, that
First three letters.
totally got it. Okay,
Right, so
you took that and then made it
First-
make some sense with some letters.
yeah, first initial, first three of the last, and it fits what I am as I walk around every day, and the style of what I'm going to be teaching. Right, so you want four-man CQB, like call Don Edwards at Green Line, fucking does a great job.
4-man CQB.
Yep. 10-man, however many, like, you want to talk team shit, like, I'll send you to Don, or we can get Jay involved on something.
What about
like,
1-man CQB?
That's something that...
Have you not
that
seen Reach? Isn't that what Reacher does?
L-Car will get into some of that stuff. I got some more hanging out with Sonny to do before feeling like I want to put that out.
Sicario.
Yeah. So, yeah. Lone civilian armed responder.
Time you wake up every morning.
3:30.
What's that look like from then?
3:30. Like quick gratitude practice kind of thing.
Give me an example of that.
So wake up, deep breath in, like that's still working.
One or 30 of them?
No, just one deep one. Lets me know that, oh shit, I just took a breath. Like, thank you for that. What a blessing. Think about something else that, I'm thankful for. Maybe happened in the day before. Or,
Vocalize it, write it.
in mental.
Okay.
I guess I could make it an out loud thing. Maybe it is. I'm just waking up, so it's kind of like as I'm, just kind of getting up. Still haven't like taken the covers off yet, kind of thing. Then I'll think about something, like one small thing that I want to accomplish for the day. That would make the day a great day, right? So got gratitude, got aim, then stand up, walk towards the bathroom kitchen, decide whether I'm going to chug my water first or take a piss first. But one of those will happen. So either, let's say I go in, take a piss, come out, I'll hit go on the Keurig machine. That starts making a coffee. I'll chug 32 ounces of water at a minimum.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's Jeff Cavalier, Athlete Next. I think Pat Mack, too. Like, a bunch of people talk about doing that.
Did you start that so you were getting your number in, your gallon per day for 75 hard? Is that where that started, or were you doing that prior?
No, I've never actually done the
really?
Andy stuff. But I did do like 168 hard last year.
168 hard.
That I kind of just fucking made up as I was going. But yeah, no, because I typically try and drink over a gallon. I'm trying to be closer to like 1.5 gallons, 1.25 gallons a day, especially if it's hot. I'm, teaching a class outside, that sort of thing. Like, I'll try and kill 1 gallon on the range.
Yeah, they say by the time you're thirsty, it's already too late.
Oh, yeah, way too late. And we don't drink for the hours we're sleeping, so you wake up in a state of dehydration. Like, that first piss in the morning is pretty yellow. I think that's the color, or orange. And, so get on the hydration game.
Do you have to pee in the middle of the night? You get up to pee?
Sometimes.
How old are you?
38.
Oh, yeah. You'll be doing that soon.
Yeah, I mean, depends how late I'm hydrating. So coffee's made, like, then I'll take that, go put it inside, like, kind of my table. That's my office. And then I'll do a little stretching routine with max hold plank, some ab work, some shoulder stuff, like stuff on the ground, and that usually is all wrapped up right at about 4. So I have another, my first alarm. I am an alarm dude. First alarm will go off at 3:30. That's wake up. Next alarm's going off at 4. That lets me know I should have all that shit done by now. And then I'll go into like Instagram, YouTube, stay current basically on social media stuff for about an hour and a half, depending on what I have planned for my workout. Typical will be basically that time from 4 to 5:30 is that social media check, and then working on something, either emails, like stuff that's not time dependent or doesn't have to go out to someone else, or isn't going to wake someone else. Then 5:30 to 7 is kind of the time I have reserved for my workouts. And then 7 o'clock is get in the shower and get to work.
So you do like a 2-hour shower? Well, your ass don't walk in here till fucking 9. So what are you doing for 2 hours?
What are you talking about? Find me a time slip that's after 8:45 in there. There might be one.
8:45.
There might be one.
And that was a good lunch.
That was delicious. I had a delicious thick cut pork chop.
Mm-hmm. The chicken, I like the chicken better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pork chop was good, but the chicken was better. I don't even like fucking chicken.
Yeah, I was gonna say, usually you're pretty
Well, it's for the pores.
anti chicken.
It's for the pores. All right, what were we talking about?
Elcar.
Shit.
We already did Elcar. Let's switch gears. So
Let's do it.
I'm sure you thought things were different when you used to come in here, and then you come in and actually see a couple days worth of work. How different is reality versus what you thought it was here?
Just like in
in
the shop,
operations
in
and
general.
Super disorganized.
No, that's where, like, I hear you say that and tell people that it's highly organized.
Just not in a method that most people would recognize.
Because I've started to learn some pieces.
Yeah, well, you've seen, but because you've seen the inside of several businesses related to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, I mean, obviously, I know some people that used to work for you.
Who?
Some people that work at Tactical Response.
Oh, like Heather and Joey, and got it. Okay, that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, and
Shelton.
I think, I don't know if it was
their perception currently versus a few years ago.
Yeah, and or it could be a few years. Maybe you've grown more towards your gentler side of things.
No.
Like even the talking,
the calibration.
Talking about the email of the dude, you're like, it's gonna sound like I went asshole mode, but it was warranted. There was a bunch of other emails in there. Like, I don't remember, like, back in the day as a spectator of all this stuff, like, I wouldn't have thought you would throw in that qualifier. Like, I tried to be nice.
You know what
to
you know what the problem was? I'm sitting down. All those videos you ever saw, I was standing up. Like, you literally, I'm 50% asleep right now sitting down.
Cool. No, well,
it's like sedation.
Yep. So if you've got a hard conversation you gotta have with John, try and catch him while he's sitting.
Oh, fucking definitely.
All right. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's, I guess, expectation kind of meets reality on a lot of that stuff. Like I said, I think I'm picking up some organizational stuff from the way you do stuff and organize some of the stuff, because it wouldn't be like the first way I would have organized something. But
a lot of that's just having done it so long, right? Like, really, we should have everything on a barcode and SKU system and everything. We'd have to shut the entire shop down, and then somebody has to manually entry all that shit, right? I've still got stuff on our website that you can't even, like, we make products that you can't fucking buy on the website. You have to, like, secret menu it. You have to order this other thing and put in notes, I meant this thing, which is good. I mean, we can't fucking build enough of it is, but
it's like you'd have to totally
we'd
halt or slow operations.
What would really need to happen
pretty
is
hard.
Build an identical building next door, start filling that building and setting up that system over 90 days, and then just shut this one down.
Yeah.
Which, that's never fucking happening.
Yeah, no. And there's no call for it. Like,
even when we moved,
the ROI isn't there.
Correct. Even when we moved in the other building, like, we left most of the stuff's in the other building. Like, we could go back in there in theory. It'd be fucking miserable. Every time I go in there, I'm like, I can't believe we worked in these conditions like this so long. Because we're still air conditioned, we're still fucking security, everything's over there. But we left equipment and everything. We could go there if this building, if tornado wiped this out, we could go there and work Monday. But coming into a brand new building, we're like, okay, we're going to change a few things, set these up. We're like, we can't fucking do that.
Dude, there's orders.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we can't do that.
Like, people are waiting on their shit. Like,
every day there's a fire. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to stop taking orders.
People ask
for a while.
Yeah.
Build all the shit and then retool everything and why.
Yeah, we're a manufacturer and a direct to consumer sales. I love when Bear's like, we don't sell anything we don't have. I get it, but you also, most of what you sell, you don't manufacture either.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, that's a simple way, right? And so I think you've got some really good organization on how to rectify it. Right, so if someone,
we've just done it so long.
Somebody orders a bag in a color with a thread color that.
Yeah, be careful what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Just because, like, guys will game that and will be running around doing just that, right? So don't give them all the cheat codes.
Yeah, but if it's not on the shelf, there is a way that you have of getting that stuff, made and out to them.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's all pretty cool seeing the way
we can maneuver very quickly.
Gotten that done.
Yeah, we can maneuver very, very quickly.
And that's the other thing.
And we do. We ship a lot every day. And dudes on the live are constantly and they're not asking because they're curious about the inside workings of the business. They're asking about, hey, how do I get my thing faster? And I tell them all the time, I'm like, let's skip all that bullshit and just ask me the question you're actually asking, right? Where's my stuff? In which case I need to know what you ordered, when you ordered it, what codes you used, what your order, something instead of vague booking. Like, give me something to actually maneuver with. And I don't do it very often. Hey, can you look up no, because if I do, there's 800 other assholes that are going to do the same shit. And 99%, I'm like, look, chances are your shit's already in a box sitting on a shelf. It's waiting on the free thing. So if you want to forego the free thing, we'll make this happen. That we have a way, right? If, hey, I absolutely, I've got to have this. I'm going on the ninja expedition on the Pacific Crest Trail and I need my clothes bag. Why the fuck are you taking a clothes bag on the Pacific Crest Trail? But whatever. Yeah. I don't have the pink thread one, but I can send you a multicam black one today. Oh no, I'll just wait. I can send it to you minus the free thing, or we can sub that. Oh no, I'll just wait. After 4 emails, being on my live feed, doing all the shit, we always have a way to ship it. And I'd say 90% of the time, they're like, oh, never mind. Yeah. All good.
And I think a lot of people know that, because I'll see in the comments on stuff like, hey, if this color is not available for this,
that's what we tell them.
Like, give me anything that, or they'll give top 3 choices thereafter, that kind of stuff.
And we do upsales, up value add stuff in the promos, right? So you'll see guys 10 orders in a row, where the dude ordered bare minimum to get as many free things as he could. Awesome. But I'll tell you right here up front, as will Louis will tell you too, when we pull those orders in the morning and there's a stack of orders, I'm like, go through and take the high value orders first. Mm-hmm. And the guys ordering real shit, the guys that ordered chest rigs, they get that first batch of 50 free bags. Those are the first ones shipping. Mm-hmm. These guys that game that, those are in the bottom. And then we just they go to the bottom, we work that pile. And then once we're out of the free bags we have, once we get another batch, which is usually the same day, next day, we do it again. And the guy that ordered the bare minimum, ordered some stickers or whatever to get that fucking thing, your shit shipped, you'll get it, but mm-hmm. It's coming last.
Yeah. And especially, I don't know, a pet peeve of mine is the dollars and cents in the shipping. Because I'm like, there's a weight associated with a lot of stuff on the website, and that generates the shipping costs, right? That people are paying for their shipping. You start throwing in free zippered knife pouches or two bag lights.
It changes the whole shipping scale.
Like now we've just went from a package that's 1 pound 13 ounces to over 2 pounds, like to California, Utah, something like that. Like that package just got $5 more expensive to ship. Like, and we're taking the hit on that.
Yep.
So, yeah. Or like, if you want like 3 toiletry bags and like for an upcoming trip, like you gotta put socks in, like maybe don't order that with your rifle case.
Yeah.
Or plate carrier.
They always do that too. They'll order 18 things. They're like, I have to have this right now.
Yeah.
Okay, like, well, and then they'll place, and I tell guys all the time too, I'm like, place multiple orders for different things like items. Well, I didn't want to pay the shipping. Well, somebody's paying the fucking shipping. You're paying it or I'm paying it, and guess which one's not paying it?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well then it'll wait for okay, we need to do a run of those pieces.
And you'll see like we see how many orders they have. This guy, first order 27 items, you're like, this guy's he's gonna be. So a lot of times we'll take all the big items we have, get them in the box, fill up the small items, and then if we're missing a couple things, we just refund those and get them out. I didn't want to have to reorder this and pay shipping.
Yeah.
But you were going to be super mad when it was sitting here for 6 months.
And like some things, like I almost feel bad doing that on. Like the big one for me is like the plastic battery.
Oh yeah, holder. But we just don't fucking have them.
I know, but like someone wants an OD AA. And I'm like, I know myself, like I might say I want an OD AA, but I'll take the orange. Right. You know what I mean?
So what you don't see.
So I write on there, I'm like, this color was not available. This amount has been refunded.
Yeah.
Like that lets them know. Like,
yeah. What you don't see is like we used to email those dudes, every one of those dudes. And I realized I'm like, I just spent 4 hours emailing these guys. And I hear back literally, if I send 100 of those emails, we hear back from 5 of them.
Yeah.
They just sit there in limbo. Like, so we just stop doing it. We leave it to them, and we do enough videos. We got enough content and we have enough repeat customers. I'd say 90% of our customers are repeat customers with 20 or more orders.
Yeah.
And 20 is probably a low number now. I mean, because you see so many 100 and 400 order guys.
Yeah.
They know that hey, I'm ordering this, but I'll take this other color.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple like 5 per promo dudes.
Always.
That like I'm starting to get to know like people.
Yeah, you recognize the names.
Name basis. Yeah. I'm like, oh, he likes this color.
Like. Well, when we do the free stuff, like when we did I don't remember which day. Maybe it was April Fool's Day. I think it was April Fool's. We let them just pick this item. It was $25. You could order it as many times as you wanted. But what I did is I took like our seconds and our blims and stuff and then sent them that, and they got way more value than what they ordered. So if a dude ordered, $125, he ordered this thing for $25 5 times, I sent him an item that was $150, $165 value. And I would look, we took the time to look through his shit, and like this dude's all Typhon red, so we found some shit that was Typhon red. So it was in his genre. Yeah. It kind of matches stuff. And everybody that got that, anybody we heard from was like, holy shit, this was awesome. You guys should do this more often.
Yeah. No, I think it's It's pretty awesome. Like the value that goes out the door that was a big thing to me. Like the manufacturing side of things, I didn't realize how much.
Well, how many times have you been on the
went
table?
Into a bag.
How many times, like when you're fresh here, you're on the table and you've cleaned all this shit. I'm like, these are all no good. What?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not putting that's not going out with our name on it. Mm-hmm. Those are no good.
Yep.
And dudes, like it's as we get more popular, because of the sheer volume of people that duck into the live for a short amount of time, people are like, you got any blemishes you sell? You got any seconds? I'm like, no, man, when we sell our seconds and shit, they go for 2-3 times over retail. We just put them on an auction. It's a feeding frenzy. And you're like, if you're trying to do it to save money, you're in the wrong place. Like that's not here.
Yeah. Like that's what, there was one, the Jurassic Park, like,
Where those are coming off I just saw the first batches of those today.
So there was like a couple of the Velcro pieces that like the second color on
the machine fucked up.
Like machine fucked up a little bit, and I'm like,
Amanda's like,
what do you
throw those away.
Yeah, she's like, throw them away. I'm like, I feel like we could slap this on one of the bags and fucking
nobody would know.
Well, no one would know, or say like this one dinosaur bag is not like the others.
Yeah, it's the upside down airplane stamp.
Yeah, and like people would go nuts for that shit. So yeah, how would you get a batch of fupas?
Yeah.
Let's say that you were about to reject or send back to the sewers.
I even usually take that shit and cut it so it can't be pulled out of the trash.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember who it was. We had somebody. I don't think they worked for us. Somebody was coming and trying to get like labels out of the trash, and we had heard about it or something. So we even, like, when we cut a label off, we slice it in half so that it can't be out there. Now, obviously here, our dumpsters on the compound, you'd be pretty bold to come in here. But I'm always surprised myself when I open up the dumpster and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is all this shit sitting in here? And so I'm like, stop throwing, give me that. I'll take that and use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you see, that's my workspace. People are like, holy fuck, what a mess. That's all the shit that it did not meet inspection, and that's where it ended up.
But as a consumer of the gear, like you get a bag or a pack or something and you're looking at it, it's like, oh man, like this is like just about perfect, but if we just put, if they just put, right, like one more pocket right here, now seeing the shit inside out and, from ground up, it's like, yeah, you can't just put an extra pocket in places and shit. Yeah. Like.
Guys are like, do you custom stuff? I'm like, yeah, it's $1,000 to have the conversation. Okay, where do I send it? I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit. Yeah. It's every day that's the case. Yeah, man, to change on the fly. And we can, but it involves me, right? You can look at my workspace and see all the things where I was like, sure, I can do that. It's sitting there. There's still evidence of it. And for me to do that, that's not ever going to happen. It just doesn't happen anymore. It just can't. So, anything cool you saw product-wise inside that you weren't aware we made? Like anything stand out?
The modular NSW rig, I thought is a pretty freaking cool rig. Like, I had always stayed away from even looking at those things. Like, I'm a dude of a certain width, and I'm like, well, like, I can't grab magazines from back there anyway, so no sense having something that wraps. But it seems like it's right about that perfect size where somebody combat size like me, all the way up to the biggest dude, would be able to get use out of it.
Especially if you put plates on with it.
And throw it on over plates. Yeah.
Yeah, very feature rich.
Yeah, so the NSW, the modular NSW, I think is a cool piece of kit. The stacked micro.
Smallest rig we make at 10.5 inches is the footprint.
And dude, like, so I've got a cop rig and I've got a AKM4 micro that, like, gear that I run, and I probably would have gotten the split or the stacked micro instead of the
AKM4.
back in the day.
But back in the day, you weren't of the skill that you were at.
Right.
So you saw, like, that still has some utility to it.
Oh, dude, tons of utility.
Like,
because you can run AK mags. Yeah, there's so much. There's more utility to the AKM4.
And I use the example, right? Like, I can go out here outside on the property, right? I'm run everything around on a four-wheeler because I've got equipment and stuff with me. But I can take that AKM4 micro and put a pair of Corona clippers or shears in there for pruning the trees. I can have bottles of water over here. I can have all kinds of shit, even if I had no magazines with it. And then you can still run, if you had a AR on the four-wheeler with you could still have a couple mags in there. You can do, it just has so much use, whereas that stacked micro is nothing but gunfighter. It is 4 mags, dedicated 4 slots. It's the fastest rig. You can use bungee or just Velcro retention. And then it has the dedicated compact tear-off med pouch. So it has no utility, but it's the smallest footprint, fastest rig for putting bullets back in the gun.
Yeah. So I like those 2 rigs. What else is something cool I've seen recently? What did I geek out about? I mean, the mini packs are fucking sweet. I'm waiting on the splatter run of those.
Are we doing the splatter run of those?
I don't know. Are we doing this?
I don't know. Do we have orders for them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something that's been opened for orders, but I think the form factor and the pattern kind of fit with that. Like,
yeah, it would work well. We
hiding
shipped a
in
lot
plain
of
sight.
day packs and that shit.
But yeah, because I've seen a number of people running the mini packs for different reasons. Like, that's what Chuck uses as his med bag, and then that's Sonny brings his around all the places. I think his has some medical stuff in it too.
Some other stuff. Maybe. Have you ever run a small pack like that on the back of your armor or on the back of a chest rig?
I haven't.
I'm always against it because you can't get to it. And yeah, I mean, we even made some back in the day where we had some packs that you could single point release, drop the pack, and still have the comms with you for the comm guys. But you can't reload them yourself. Like, you can't put that shit back, especially the single point one. Like, it literally had a cable like a parachute. You can't reload those fucking things. And I see guys doing all kinds of fancy shit where you unclip it, throw it over your head. It never fucking, it works on their video. It never works, like, I don't know, maybe they're smarter and able to do some shit, but it never worked when we did it, and we're pretty good at doing shit. You could never duplicate it.
Nah, I think, and like the ones that zip into plate carriers, like, yeah,
But
that's
that's
gonna be
for
your most comfortable.
super cool.
For the moving and stuff
What you
like
don't
that.
see.
You cannot get into that.
Correct.
Without taking your armor off.
That's for 4 dudes just got off the Little Bird. The next 4 are right behind you. The next 4, you're not using that shit. The dude behind you is using that shit.
Yeah. So if you've got a half gallon of water or something like that in a pack, or
I like having the individual. I like having the shoulder straps just because you can.
bangs. Yeah.
Even if you had to drop all your shit, you still had the backpack. If you had to take it off, you can still get to it. I recently saw, and we played with this years ago, but I recently saw Dirty Civilian, the YouTube channel. They did something called.
He's right over here.
I've never met those guys. He that used to be the camera guy, I thought, for T-Rex. Like the T-Rex brother. I can't remember his name. The middle one.
There's Lucas is the shooter.
Not
Isaac.
Isaac came here for SRF, man. I had a great conversation. We talked for 90 minutes probably. But they were doing something called, it's off a video game or a TV show or a TV series or something, but they had taken a backpack and then incorporated their mini rig into the shoulder straps of the backpack. I like that. We might fuck with that and kind of come up with an adapter kit to make those work with that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
And then you can run a dangler with it if you need more stuff. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice having stuff in layers, I think, because, like, and Jay talks about a mix-em-up that they had, I guess, in Iraq, or they didn't actually have, but there was shooting going on. and like Jay grabbed an AK, ran up on the roof, and like
Didn't have AK mags.
James ran to like the locker setup and like threw on all the everything, like night vision, got fully dressed up.
And the shootout's over.
And like they like passed on the stairwell, like Jay coming back in from the roof, like not us, like nothing to worry about. It's like James was getting ready to get there, and it's like if there's this weird dream where people think that they're gonna have like fucking time, they're gonna hit play on their like,
well, they've even seen it. They have the montage going. They've got their whole movie montage for when they make their movie afterwards.
I'm gonna put let the bodies hit the floor on, like hit play, like like look at the mirror, give yourself one of those, like plate carrier belt, like suspenders, and like get dressed up head to toe. Like you're not gonna have that time. So if you have stuff layered out where like, okay, if I need to, I grab a rifle. On it has a sling, a tourniquet, right? Like that kind of stuff. All right, if I've got more time than that, I'll grab the rifle and those ear pro. If I've got more time than that, like plates, ear pro rifle.
Yeah, you better have that shit right there by your bedstand.
Like then you got enough time where you got to worry about the next 3 days, grab that pack.
Yeah.
Like, but to have it all weighing down, why do you need your overnight pack on your plate carrier all the time?
Well, tied in, yeah. Like, absolutely. It should definitely be in your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
Man, I don't know.
All right, well,
What else do we got?
We can cut this off.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more from Elcar Concepts. Elcar underscore.
See, motherfucker can't even say it himself.
the letter L, CAR underscore concepts on all the socials.
Is there a .com?
There is a .com.
You own it.
I own
and
the
you own
.com.
all the socials.
I don't own the. I'm not gonna.
Is there an Instagram for it?
There is an Instagram for it.
Is there a Facebook for it?
There's a Facebook.
Is there a YouTube for it? You got about fucking 4 days to get that motherfucker locked on, so go get the YouTube. Make sure you register. Make sure you subscribe to all those channels. Whether there's content or not, there will be content coming.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for having me over here.
Yeah. I don't know what he's fucking talking about. He's over here every fucking day.
Well, over here. On
In
this
here.
side. In here.
Yeah, on this side of the compound.
Yeah, this side with the good lighting.
Yeah.
And the...
On the Delta side.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet your ass I fulfill it. Yeah, man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest.